to go.
And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault. It's Adrian Chenault, and it is going to be an unbelievable radio show today, like the best one you've ever seen. And that's hard to tell anybody that because we got all kinds of things going on Clubhouse and everything else. Because there is no way we are going to let any of you miss this show. So we're live on Clubhouse. We're live on Facebook. We're live on StreamYard. We are going everywhere because Michelle Eldridge is a rock star. So you want to watch this show and you want to pay attention because every one of us always think that we had this really, really tough little past and it was unovercomable until you hear somebody else's story that is absolutely unbelievable. What is so funny about this show right now is I have two co-hosts here. One is Michelle Eldridge. She's not in her chair. And Adrian Chenault is not in his. So I am going solo. Oh, Michelle's back. It's a Christmas miracle. And now we're going to go back and Adrian's going to come peeling in right now too. But we're trying to put this thing out so many different places because it is such an important show. Because I am telling you, the great news about going to hell is you don't want to go back. You get out of there, you don't want to go back. And they say that religion is for people who don't want to go to hell. And that's why they go to church every week. And I love that. Spirituality is for people that have been to hell and don't want to go back. And I'm telling you, I'm a very spiritual person because this guy has been there. And I thought I had a tough story till I met our guest today, who, by the way, wins the, hands down, the contactmapping.com award of the year for promoting a show as a guest. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
She's
we just
crazy.
love Michelle. She's awesome.
The best. The best of the best of the best. You excited about having her on?
Couldn't be more excited. We have been hanging. It's been so cool. One of the side benefits, just a little shout out to our friends who are listening with us on Clubhouse right now. It's been so cool because, you know, it's so hard to get to hang out with these rock stars because there's so many things going on and it's just hard to coordinate. And I feel like I hang out with Michelle like every day now. It's been so cool. We've been having all these conversations and it's just, we're like in each other's lives. It's amazing.
I've gotten so close to Christopher Hussey, to Robert McFadden, to Michelle Eldridge, to Haley Hobson. People I knew from a distance, but not like unbelievably intimately. And you, Michelle, has just been everywhere. And I so respect that because she's building a business. She is taking unbelievable speaking lessons. This woman is the epitome of reinvention. And Michelle Eldridge, how are you, pumpkin pie?
I am so good and I'm so excited. This is the first time, since it became the Network Marketing Leadership Show that I've got to be on. So I'm just honored to be here. I was happy to promote it. I feel like everybody should know. I feel like everybody should be on here watching, not just for me, but every single time you do these. So I was happy to promote it for sure.
So you've been incredibly successful in a short amount of time, which is a lot of people are incredibly successful in a short amount of time. So that's not unique for me. What's really unique for me with Michelle is she's never forgotten where she came from. She's more present to where she was than literally anybody I've ever met. And what I tell people all the time, and they don't really believe me, I'm sure of it, because no one can believe I go to AA every day after 32 years. And I go there every day after 32 years because A, I don't want to drink again. 2, I don't want to miss helping that newcomer. And 3rd, I never want to think I'm half as slick, hip, and cool as my paycheck's trying to tell me I am. And Michelle epitomizes that. I live my life like I'm in my first 90 days of sobriety and first 90 days of network marketing. And I learned it from Michelle. And you don't even know when we were in that dark room, in that conference room upstairs, and I can't remember where we were. One of the hotshots gave it to us, and we had DC from England and you and a bunch of people, and you would come in that room every day, and you were just getting your sea legs. And I was so
that. I remember when it was. We were both speaking. I'd never spoke there before. It was A&P.
It was the A&P, and they gave us that room upstairs, and you came in. And I fell so in love with your rawness in those days. And what you're not allowed to do is tell stories inside of AA to the outside world. So today I called Michelle on the phone and I said, we can't do that. But what we can do is retell the stories. And I want to hear again the accordion story. I want to hear what you had to sell and what you had to do to even get started, because no one alive would have even started with the deck of cards you were dealt. No one would have even started, and you did. And I love you so much for that. So take it away and tell us the story, kid.
You know, first of all, you are one of the people who, no matter where I was at, even the worst of times, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. No, it's not. So I could think about you and the example that you set, especially for a person like me. So I just have to say a huge thank you for that. You know, I started, you know, I grew up, everybody I knew, they'd been around. It was a cycle, you know, their parents was on drinking or on drugs or whatever. And so my mom, she was the same way. She did what she knew. My dad, same way. It was everybody, most everybody was on something, doing something. And, you know, I grew up thinking I'll never be that. Like, no, like what kid is looking around going, I want to grow up and be a drug addict. It'll be fine. No. So I wasn't thinking that. I was like, I'm going to be one of the ones, because there was very few. I think my Aunt Rita may be like the only one outside of my great grandparents. I was like, you know, I want to be that. And all it took was me being raped at 14 to throw me off the wagon, because nobody in my family was taught how to deal with anything. So that's how they dealt with stuff. So I didn't know. So that's how I dealt with stuff. So I turned to drugs then, and you know, I still graduated with honors, still went to college. And when in the midst of that, I ended up quitting college because I became homeless, and I started getting, you know, put in jail. And people will drive by and scream bad things about me. Oh, get off the street. You're nothing but a piece of blah, blah, blah. And I really had nowhere to go. I mean, I even went to the courthouse one time and asked the judge to put me in jail because I had nowhere to go. I mean, it was a rough place to be in. I ended up, you know, meeting my husband, and I got clean, and he got shot like 4 years after I'd known him. He gets shot, and we have 2 kids. And we had one when he got shot, but he started suffering from postpartum depression and schizophrenia. He does something, he goes to jail, and I'm alone with 2 kids. And even though it had been 6 years that I'd been sober at the time, I had no car, no friends, nobody liked me in this little bitty town. Everybody hated me. I had no Instagram, wasn't no fancy, any of that. I had a Facebook. There's like 100, 150 people on there, and every one of them hated me. I have people now who tell me, you know, I didn't hate you. Well, it would have been nice to know, you know, and because for the most part, there was not for the most part. In fact, there was no one who acted as if they give two if I lived or died. So it was easy to think I'm screwed. Nothing's ever going to change, and this is destined to be my kids' life now. They're going to live off welfare for the rest of their lives, just like everybody else around us. And it sucked. But when I was faced with, I have to get diapers for my baby, I have no car, and my electric is going to get cut off. I fought so hard to get sober. I did all, I still would fight, but it was way easier. It'd been 6 years. So I'm looking around and like, why did I fight so hard if I still can't win? They're not going to let me win. And so I'm like, okay, you know, I'm depressed. I'm looking at my phone, and I find a thing where this girl, she's doing something, and I'm like, I wonder if she really makes money doing that. And so I ask her, do you really make money doing that spam thing? And she's like, yeah, we don't spam people. But yeah, I make money. And so, you know, I ask her all the skeptical questions. Well, how much is this? You know, and she's like, so it's either this or this. And $200 was the smaller option. And I'm like, yeah, that may as well be $1 million. And so the only thing that I had a surplus of, and that was because the health department or other people or the angel tree or whatever would give my kid, they would donate presents and stuff to my kids at Christmas. So we had a surplus of toys. We had my husband's boss, they always spoiled the kids. So we had tons of toys, tons of them. And so I took legitimately, I took. Now, just to be clear, I had no idea that this would work. I had nobody, I had no reason to think anybody would buy anything from me. Okay. So I took my kids' toys out of their toy box, took a picture of them one by one, trying to hide them so that they did not get upset with me, right? To sell them on Facebook to get $200 to get, and I'll just tell you, it's a beauty thing, right? I didn't even wear none of that crap. So I am now buying a box. I just sold my kids' toys, $200 worth, to buy a box of something, me with nobody to sell nothing to, and I know nothing about what's in this box. Legitimately, this is the truth. I get the box and I ask myself, I'm like, you're an idiot. Why didn't you just pay the light bill? Like, if you're going to sell the toys, at least do something. Like, why didn't you pay the light bill? And so I decided, like, what else can I do at this point? I've done got the box. I had to go get one of those prepaid Visa cards. I didn't have a bank or anything like that. Like, I had literally $0. I could budget $5 the last 2 weeks on bread, bologna, and Kool-Aid. That's the life I lived. And so I'm like, I have to make it work. So I went live, y'all. I got on this Facebook. I figured out the buttons. Whatever. I get on there. And there's this air conditioner in my window, but it's the only window with light. There wasn't no ring lights or none of that. I'm sweating. I'm dripping sweat trying to put this stuff on my face that I didn't know what I was doing. I'm telling people, listen, I know you know this about me, okay? This is who I used to be. Whoopsie.
Sorry.
I don't know what's happening. Hold on one second.
That's just opportunity calling. Don't worry about it.
Now, there it goes. Yeah. Sorry. But basically, I was on there and I told people, you know what? Before they could say anything bad about me, just in case for some reason I did make it work, I wanted to let everybody know who I was and what I was, and that I knew it and that I accepted it. That I finally forgave myself, but that wasn't why I was there. We're going to learn how to use this crap together, and it's going to be great. And that's what that's what I did. And I did it over and over, for real.
Okay, we got to take a break. Wait 1 sec. We got to take a fast break. We'll be right back on the Network Marketing Leadership Show. Stick around. Thank you. Okay, take it away, Adrian. Is she this? You guys? Is she there? So we have to take this commercial break because this is on Real Radio. So what happens on this show is we have hard breaks because this goes out to a bunch of radio stations off of Genesis Communications Network, which is a muckety muck up in Minneapolis named Ted Anderson, who's put us on the air for the last 12 years. So on regular radio, they're all listening to all these survival, honey wrapped bacon for the middle of the mountains, whatever it is. Adrian talks contact mapping. So that's what's really cool here. So he's in charge of the breaks during the breaks. So here's what happens now. We can shout out, hello, Jeff Albigers. Hello there, Sean Murphy. Hello there, everybody watching the show. It is so great to see you. Don't be afraid to comment because we can actually see comments and we love you. So, and Michelle is a beast. We love her and we love you. I feel like I've known you all your life.
You are just one tremendous human being.
Take it away.
All right. So real quick for the Clubhouse crowd, thank you so much for listening with us.
Clubhouse is here too.
We are live on Facebook, and this is going out to radio. We are with the incredible Michelle Eldridge, who you just must have been hanging on the edge of your seat hearing her tell her story. We are going to take Q&A from Clubhouse at the end of this, and so if you want to stick around, we'll do some Q&A for a few minutes at the end, and just awesome people on Facebook, on Clubhouse, on the radio, the whole shot. But real quick, let's talk a little contact mapping. So Michelle, first of all, you look great. What a cool shirt you have on.
Oh, this is my favorite shirt.
So talk a little bit about contact mapping and what it means for you.
I was so hoping that you were going to ask me. I was so hoping, because I really don't think people understand what it actually is. Like, it doesn't make sense why everybody wouldn't have it if they actually knew. Like, you know what I mean? So if, and I know most of you probably, some of you may not be, but for a lot of you, I know that you're in this industry, you're in the network marketing industry, direct sales, wherever you are. Even if you're not, it's still relevant. But what have you been told this whole time? The fortune's in the follow-up. The fortune's in the follow-up. It's building relationships, no lack in trust, and make people, feel good. All these things, right? And you want to do that. You truly want to do that. But you also have a life. You're also a human. So for me, I'm chasing, for a long time, it was me chasing two kids, me trying to write down everybody's names and then trying to remember, I need to follow up with blah, blah, blah at this time. Oh, what was her kid's name? Oh my gosh, what was its name? And not remembering, but I wanted to. I wanted to remember. I wanted to follow up. I wanted to be the person that made these people feel special, right? And I couldn't do it because my mind just wasn't enough. The paper, I lose the paper, or I just wouldn't write it down, or I wouldn't do it at all, period, nothing. So what contact mapping did for me was it gave me a place where not only could I move on my contacts, but there's also now, I know there's a free version and there's a paid version. Obviously the paid version is the best, but you can also integrate Facebook with it as well. So you put everybody in here, all these people are here, you add new contacts. Clubhouse, I have been mapping as many people a day. I don't even know how many people I've mapped every day. And I know things about them that they'll never think that I could ever remember, because all I got to do is tell it. All I'm doing is telling it. When I'm at events, I'm talking to it. I'm walking down. It's a little app on my phone, right? So I'm telling it. Susie is a speaker. She just did this. She's got 4 kids, right? And then I'm doing the same thing with anybody else. Oh, she's got a dog. It's going to the vet. I need to check on it. And then I'll set a reminder to have it tell me, hey, follow up, Michelle. And then I don't have to remember anything. It's doing it for me. And it's telling me it's time to follow up with Joe Blow today. And then I'm doing what I want to do without actually thinking my mind has the capacity to do it. Even though I want it to have the capacity, it doesn't. So,
you're the greatest.
And
all right.
I can tell you the technical people, the people who say, but I'm not I don't know technology. Me either. Join the club. But it was easy enough. I figured it out. But even if you can't, for some reason, they help you do it.
Jesus.
So there's almost no reason to not have it. I have to say, it's a life changer. I have people telling me every day how much I'm able to, like, what? How did you remember that? You're one of the best people I know. And I'm not really the greatest. I'm not really special, but I want to make them feel special. And the app helps me do that. So I say, you need to get it. If you don't have it, why don't you have it? Every person truly should have it. I was glad you asked me. I'm so glad you did. I was hoping that I would get to tell you all the things.
You are such
Adrian, you are fired. Stand by there. And we're back. This is the Network Marketing Leadership Show. It is Tom Chenault, my main spokeswoman, Michelle Eldridge, and my son, Adrian Chenault. How are you? Did she do a great job or what?
She is the greatest. I am just going to mail like 5 $100 bills in the mail. You are just unbelievable. You are the best. We love you.
Holy mackerel, that's worth another shirt for sure. Contactmapping.com for those of you that don't have any idea what we're talking about. Michelle Eldridge, she's got the shirt on here. We'll figure out a way to give a couple of those away during the show today because this is so fun, and I'm wearing one. It was a coincidence. I don't know that it was a coincidence it's no coincidence for me because I wear the same shirt every day, but for her it's a coincidence. So take it away, baby.
So Michelle, you were kind of just at the point where you had you had sold the money to get or sold the toys to get the $200 to get this thing. You have no clue what you're doing. And you said something, I actually want to ask you specifically about this, because I don't think I knew that part of your story before. That you really, when you did that, you didn't try to be something that you weren't in that moment. You said, I know who I am. I'm here to figure this thing out, and I want you to come with me.
Yeah.
What inspired you to do that? Because that was a gutsy thing to do, and I bet it made a big difference.
Well, first of all, thank you for that. It was scary. I'm not going to lie and tell you that it wasn't. I looked around and I could see, you see all these people that you look at, even before network marketing, there's these, pages and people that you see that aren't human. Like they're so special that they almost don't feel human to me, but I love their pages. I love their content, but I'm like, who are they? Like I always wondered, who are these people? So I thought in my head, if this is going to work at all, I don't want to build it up and then one day feel like I've not been me, and
wow.
I just could not, I couldn't chance the possibility of somebody coming up later and saying, oh, well, but she's this. No, I am this. Yes, I am. And this is it. It's just like, you have to own who you are. People think that, you have to be special or be this stereotypical magazine that, all these stereotypes that we've been in, like our heads are filled with, they're just not real. And we have to recognize that we get to be who we are. It's a gift. We are the gift. You, Adrian, you're the gift. Tom, you're the gift. There's never going to be another person like us. There's never going to be anybody like us on the planet again. So if we don't own the gifts that we were given, which is being ourselves, they just go to waste. And I feel like that's a shame.
I just think that's an unbelievably wise thing that you had it would have, I think we feel like we're supposed to be somebody different because who we have been up until now hasn't been working that good. And I just think to have recognized and have that foresight to go, if this thing works, wouldn't it really suck if I was pretending to be somebody and now I have to pretend to be that person that I don't really know how to be for the rest of my life? And so
then the possibility of somebody coming and cutting it down.
Right, because you're a fraud, you're exposed or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Mm-hmm. That's huge, and I think the incredible truth underneath that you exposed and you maybe knew or you stumbled into or however it came, but that actually the very act of that bravery, the very act of showing up authentically as who you are and where you've been was probably the biggest thing that you did that attracted people at the beginning is an incredible.
Well, that's been it for the longest time. That's it right there. That's why I say you're the gift. Like Adrian taught you, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here on the show. Because of me being me and being willing to say, I am me. And it's not that I'm special. Like I said, you don't have to be special. You just have to be willing to be you. And that's how you find your people, because your people are like you. My people resonate with me. Whether they've gone through the same thing or not, it doesn't matter. Maybe they felt like the outsider before, the misfit, the black sheep, the whatever. And I think that's why they like me. My team is full of misfits and they're awesome, right? Like that's who we kind of are, and they love it. I love it.
Oh man, that looking good and all that. COVID's been so beautiful because it's let us realize that all those trappings are such noise, and all we really have. You look at little Rochelle, Ruchell.
I love her.
Oh my God, she shows up in our life. Just the nicest little kid you ever want to meet in your life, who just needs some people to hang on to that will let that will love her till she can love herself. And she did it, and now she's out there doing the same thing in the world for other people. That's what this is all about, not all the cars, the planes, the trains, and the automobile. So we're going to take another break. This is a long break, so we really get to fire. We'll come back right after this. It's the Network Marketing Leadership Show.
All right.
Oh my God, Michelle.
This is so good.
I don't even want to talk. That's the beautiful thing about it. And to all the people on Clubhouse, yeah, well, no. And you know what I just noticed? Christopher Hussey unfriended me on Facebook.
No.
I swear to God, I had to tag his wife. So somebody needs to call that commie and find out what I said to him that he unfriended me, because I sure as hell didn't unfriend him.
I would have done it to you a long time ago.
Hussey, you're on my list.
Notice.
I can't believe
He's gonna
it.
be on the show. Why would he not be your friend?
He unfriended me. I just tried to tag him because Michelle was killing it, and I'm sitting here. I bet you anything, if we watch the replay of my face when I went, what the? Because I could not get him. It was hilarious.
This is exactly why he untagged you. He's just so worried you're going to chuck a hand grenade at him.
I think he's mad because I can't spell network or the way those guys do it. So it's cool. So during the show, I want to go back and talk about Higdon's a little bit, because when I met you, oh my God, you were just a snot-nosed little, do you remember when we were out in the hall and you're crying because all these people were telling, we'll talk about that in the show, but I want to make sure that Higdon's, and I tagged them, because you need to know when you changed a life.
Yep.
Easy to make money, but changing lives and throwing people that rope and letting people grab that rope and swim in with you. And that's what I saw Higdon's do with you. And I'm just forever grateful. So do your commercial.
All right.
Sorry.
Awesome. No, this is great. So Michelle, first of all, thank you. That was such an unbelievable share that you gave about contact mapping on the last break. But so many of us that are watching today, you have so many fans here. You have so many people who just love you. And what Michelle is better than almost anybody I know at is she really gives a crap about people. And it's not a show. She actually, when the chips are down, when nobody's looking to have her look good as a result of doing it, she actually shows up. And that, I can't take any credit for that. That's just who she is as a human being. But what she has been able to do with contact mapping and what she talked about on the last break is that it gets hard when you're trying to do that with a lot of people. It just gets hard to do it because you can't remember people's stories. You can't remember the names. You can't remember this. And it just starts all running together. And so if Michelle is touching your heart, what I want you to do is just think about what would it be like, what kind of impact could you have on people if you went from not being able to remember people's names, not being able to keep things straight, saying you're going to call them and then not doing it, feeling ashamed of yourself or feeling sheepish and all the things that we do, and moving that to the place of, I know who I'm supposed to touch base with to grow my business today. I know who I'm supposed to love on because I just want to be that kind of person in the world. I can ask a question that's specific about the names of their kids and what they're up to and about their husband or their wife or whatever that is. When you can go from not remembering that stuff and being a mess and feeling like you're discombobulated and you can't keep up with it all, to knowing exactly what you're supposed to be doing on any given day, it just changes things. And that's what I want for you. That's why we created contact mapping for you, is we want you to remember people because all people want is to be remembered. And so if you can be the one that remembers them, if you can be the one that calls them once a month or once a quarter and loves them and doesn't have to say, you don't have to say anything special. You can seriously just call them up and say, hey, I was thinking about you. And what's going to happen is all the time people are going to say to you, oh my gosh, I can't believe you called me. I was about to call you today. They weren't. And they are going to be like, oh, I've been thinking about joining your business forever. And I was just about to call you. I'm so glad you called me today. And it's not that they're lying. They actually thought they were going to call you that day, but I promise you they weren't. Because something was going to happen or they were going to get confronted about something or whatever it is, and they were never going to join your business. But because you picked up the phone that day, because some dang app told you to do it, your entire life can change as a result of that. And so that is what contact mapping is about. That's what we took him and we just crammed him down into a box. and we just put them in a phone. And that's what we did with contact mapping. So go to contactmapping.com/free, get started with the free version, see what this thing's all about, join an onboarding where you can see how this thing works, and the rest is going to be history. And that's what I want for you. So go check it out. Thanks for listening, and let's go back to the show.
Wow.
And we're back. It is the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Adrian, Chenault, Michelle, Eldridge, and I am telling you what, if I get one more text about the fact that I have not told people how to get hold of Michelle, I'm going to scream. You're filling up my phone, so I'm sick of this. So we're going to have to ask her right now. How do they get hold of you, Michelle?
Well, first of all, that's insane. but you can just, my name is spelled Michelle Eldridge, MICHELLE-ELDRIDGE. Just search my name. I don't have any fancy tags. Instagram's where I'm at mostly. I'm on Facebook obviously too. It's just been a little negative lately, so I've kind of moved a little bit just for break. But you can message me. You can do whatever. I'm also on Clubhouse a lot for the Clubhouse people. That's my jam. You don't have to get ready for that, and I can give as much as I want. I have a good time. But yeah, that's it. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. They can find me on Clubhouse wherever they want to talk to me. I'm there.
People know that I live for baths. I'm a bath guy. I do my thinking there.
We have to, I said one of these days I'm going to be there. I'm taking a picture in that tub. I'm doing it.
Amen. And one of the things.
Jealous since Ray got to. Like,
Well, yeah, all of you. You, Jeff, I'll tell you, the two most tightly wound people on the planet, I think, might be Jeff Roberti and Denny Robinson. They were so literally creeped out when I said, let's hop in the tub and take a picture. I think they had to take their clothes off. Higdon was just undressing. That was easy. But I am going to tell you one thing right now. It was not good for poor Jeff Roberti and Denny Robinson, man. They were worried. They thought, it was one of the great days of all time. But you.
I thought I knew you, but.
Yeah. And we've got some tremendous producers on this show, Pamela Ann Schwartz and Marianne Neal. So you'd be doing me a favor if you would hyperlink Michelle Eldridge on Instagram in the comments and on Facebook, so they don't even have to do that work. We love her so much that we want people to hear her story. And she's in a business, so know that she's in a business, and if you want to join her business, you can. She's not going to recruit you, but the point I'm trying to make to you is this is a person you need to know, because I love her. She is who I want to be when I grow up. She has stayed humble, and she's making some bank now, but you would never know it. And it's like that with me. I love being a hot mess, and she is better at it than me.
Absolutely.
Was that a compliment, I hope?
So let's talk. We were talking a little bit about this on the break. So I want to talk about the journey, because I think what inspires your first journey is really inspiring to me. But the way you have become the leader that you are today is even more inspiring to me. And I know that a big part. Yeah, heck yeah, that's where the magic happens. And so talk about that journey from, you were already having some success in your business. You got to speak at A&MP, and some big things happened for you from that experience, didn't they?
It was actually before that. So what happened was I was working all the time, and I'm standing in my kitchen, legitimately, I'm in my kitchen in my little trailer, and I'm looking, my kids are playing, and I feel this gut wrenching, I want to cry, but I don't want them to see me cry. So I go in my little room, I sit down on this mattress, there's no box springs, I'm going to cry. And I'm going to quit, because I feel like I'm always on my phone and I'm never playing with them. I'm doing all the things, but nothing's working. I made like $150 and I'm spending all my time on my phone. Like, what's the problem? And I get on my phone and I'm like, I can't really quit. I don't have any options, but I wanted to. So I'm on my phone, I'm Googling, and that's how I found Ray and Jessica Higdon. It was how to do at-home business things. Swear to God, I didn't know the term network marketing, didn't know the term direct sales. I didn't know any of that. And I find them, and I start following like their free coaching Fridays. I saved up $20 to get in the rank makers. And again, there I'm like, whoa, somebody is giving me directions. Okay, this is it. Because my upline, she had a baby and was suffering from postpartum. So she was out from the moment I started. So I didn't have any guidance. So it was just me flailing them in. Flailing in the wind. Imagine that. So I get in rank makers, I follow directions. And because I am someone who, I'm not too proud to say that without Ray and Jessica Higdon, I wouldn't be here. Without people like Tom, he had me on the show before I'd ever made, six figures at all. Like, because of people like Lisa and them taking me under their wing and showing me, treating me just like them, like a human freaking being, Angel Fletcher, like these people that lead the industry loved on me. Jeff's on here. He was on here. He was somewhere. He's one of those people. But Ray and Jess, they truly set the example for me, and I followed it. They had me because I told them what results I was getting. Ray asked me on a live interview on the spot. My jaw went from here to down here. I never flew on a plane. And I was so shocked when he said, do you want to be on a panel on my stage? And I was like the footage, that I hope it never becomes a GIF, but the footage, there is footage of just that part. And it's horrible, but I keep it because it reminds me of just how insane it was. And from there, that's what snowballed everything. From there, I was at A&MP. I met Tom at Ray's event, but then I spoke again at Ray's next event, then A&MP. But me and Tom really got to know each other at the A&MP. And from there, Business for Home had me featured in their website. Ted and Danny, I love them so much. Like, people like that don't know me. They don't know anything about me. So that's why it's so easy for me to give anybody I can a leg up. The top is lonely if you're by yourself. And so because I was gave this love for no reason, I'll give it back. And that just ties back to contact mapping. There's tons of my friends that are leaders that I would be embarrassed to, even anybody really, truly, but I would be embarrassed not to remember some of this stuff. But I just couldn't, So it's helpful for me to be able to just look at my phone and not have to be ashamed that I forgot something or, embarrassed because they've been so good to me. There's just been so many, and I'm grateful for that. But I work with Ray and Jessica now by choice because I want to, because I believe in their mission. I believe in what they're doing. And so I'm honored to do that, but without them, 100%, I would not be here. And I know that Ray's a huge advocate for contact mapping. He loves it and promotes it, has for a very long time. In fact, that's how I originally, even heard about it. So I think, you follow success leaves clues. That's what they say. And that's exactly what I done. And I'm not afraid to shout it from the rooftops. That's the thing about me, is I like to share it. I want people to know if you follow the people who've already done what you want to do, you'll get there.
And when everybody's telling you you're a loser, you really start to believe that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you're just like in that apartment and that accordion door and the drugs and the jail and the shooting, and you just know that there's just no way out until somebody believes in you just a tiny bit.
That's it.
And when somebody believes in you just a tiny bit, and all of you that are watching this thing, whether you're on drugs, off drugs, on alcohol, off alcohol, in domestic abuse, I don't care what it is. You don't have to stay there. You might be in it, but you aren't in it for life. Yeah. If you can just get that gift of desperation to say, you know what, I'm coming out of this thing. The heroin's on the counter. No one's at the house. I'm not going to leave the bedroom because I'll do the heroin if I walk in. That's her accordion story. From there to, I'm going to join this business. I need $200. Adios, kids' toys. I've got to have the money to do this. She had the gift of desperation. Gift of desperation, number one, was to quit that garbage drug life. Number two was to change her circumstance and embrace the life raft. Most people get out there in the deep water, then people like us pull you in the life raft and you just lay there. she realized she realized she had to row, and she's been rowing like a mad woman and pulling people in the life raft with her, with people like Lisa Grossman, like Sean Murphy, like Ray and Jess and Jess and Angel, and the people that. What's been so astounding in this show is as much attention as we've tried to put on her, she keeps deflecting us away to other people that have helped her. That's a tell for you. It works. And the name of the game for you to get bigger and better at this game is to deflect all attention off of you and focus on the success of other people and just get caught in that slipstream, because not only will the mentors take you somewhere, so will your organization. And it's a beautiful feeling. And when you get to where she is, you don't feel like a false prophet. I will tell you one thing right now. Michelle Eldridge believes in her core that she earned it and she could do it again if, God forbid, something happened to her company. Right or wrong, Michelle?
For sure, I could do it. I know I could do it.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep, no question. And it's not because it wasn't about luck. You know what I mean? I know when Ray asked me that, you know what he said to me? I will never forget it. On the video when he asked me to be on the panel for the first time, because all the interview was supposed to be was me saying, I've recruited like 11 people and in 45 days and stuff like that. It turned into the stage thing. And he told me after he asked me, he's like, don't stop working. Don't think you're too cool for school and stop working, because apparently he knew, I don't know if he knew, he didn't say this, but it sounds like to me that that's what people do. They think they're cool and then they stop, and then that's it, Yeah. And so I've never thought I was cool. In fact, part of my message is I'm not. I'm not cool, and you don't got to be either. That's my whole thing, and that's okay. You don't have to fit a certain mold to be in here. You're in. You just have to do it, and that's what I had to do. I had to remember that. What you said, somebody had to believe in me. I needed a little bit of belief. I didn't believe in me, but the first spark, it was insane what could happen when somebody else believes in you. And that's what my team, I have the best team ever. It's all women, so it's easier for me to understand them. But, for a whole year, I was sick. 2020, I was sick, and it was nothing to do with the pandemic. My liver was bad from what I did to it when I was younger, right? And all of a sudden it wanted to kill me. And here I am literally facing death. And all I could think was obviously I thought about my family and things like that. But as far as my business, I thought, can they make it without me? I need them to make it without me. And I kept telling them, if I die tomorrow, I want to make sure, they probably got so mad at me because I wouldn't just give them the answers or whatever. But I was like, I need you to be okay without me. I need you to. And now they don't need me at all. Ever.
We got to take another break. This is so awesome.
Yay.
How about all the self-pity you hear in her? None. That's got to be you. We'll come back right after this. Oh, mackerel. Is this cool enough? And this show's flying by. All you Clubhouse people, as soon as this thing's over, which is in about 10 minutes, we're going to open up for questions over there also, because we can't, you're not yet. I wish you could watch her. And if you do get a chance, just go into Facebook, go to the Network Marketing Leadership Show or Michelle's wall. I'm sure it's getting streamed over there, or my wall on Facebook. But I'm going to tell you one thing right now. This is all of it in a bag of chips. And this woman is the epitome of what this profession stands for. And I've never heard about her anything goofy on just selling out her ethics, because she's in the same club I'm in, away from multi-level marketing, where to lose your integrity probably means to use again. And we're not going to do that. And you guys can take it to the bank. You want to follow, you want to hook up the right way with Michelle Eldridge. Take it away. Well, it's a bad term these days. I don't know.
It's all good. All right, so Clubhousers, thanks for hanging with us. I just turned hand raising back on, so if you have a question or you want to say hi to Michelle, we'll bring you on at the end of the show, but you can go ahead and start raising your hands now, and we will get some people in here. And I would love it. Michelle is, if you've been here for any amount of time, I'm sure you are blown away. And so ping some people into the room because we're going to get going on asking some questions at the end of the show. And so do that while we're hanging out here. And in that realm, for those of you watching with us on Facebook right now, if you haven't heard about this Clubhouse thing by now, you might be living under a rock. They had Elon Musk on there the other night, and they broke the platform because so many people were trying to be on there. But there's this new social platform called Clubhouse. And actually, Michelle, I'll send you. There's a replay of it. They were able to record it, and he was just fire. I found there's a replay of it. I found it last night.
Really?
So anyway, so Clubhouse has 1 million active users, and I think it's going to be like it was like a week ago, and they're going to be 2 million next week. It's still small in the scheme of social media, but it is growing like a weed, and it is unbelievable. And so
unfortunately, you have to have iPad or iPhone, but
yes,
you
need an iPad or an iPhone.
Forever.
And so what I want you to do is, if you're on Clubhouse already, I want you to go to contactmapping.com/Clubhouse. And if you are not on Clubhouse yet and you want to get on there, I want you to go to contactmapping.com/Clubhouse. And if you're an Android person and maybe you could buy an iPhone someday, then I want you to go to contactmapping.com/Clubhouse. Because what we are going to do is we are going to put on a webinar talking about how we have been using this platform to, in real time, create organic connections on an absolutely unbelievable level. And the deal is that Clubhouse is amazing. It is a total drinking from a fire hose, trying to figure out what to do, trying to figure out how to spend time effectively on there. And you can spend an absolutely crazy amount of time there if you let yourself. And what we're going to show you how to do is make the time that you spend on Clubhouse productive time, and have you start connecting individually with people in an authentic way that's going to grow your business. So it's a free webinar. It's on February 11th at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
We're not going to charge for that?
It's free, man.
Okay, well, that means I'm going to give away some Clubhouse invitations to them.
So contactmapping.com/Clubhouse. Make sure you're there. If you need an invite, mention that in the comments on Facebook, and we'll see if we can help you out there. And so we are coming back, but before we officially come back, are we still missing Michelle, guys?
Michelle is frozen. Michelle, can you hear me?
Call her on the phone real quick.
Okay.
Or text her. All right. And we're back. It is Tom Chenault. It is Adrian Chenault, and Michelle Eldridge has a little bit of an internet connection problem, so it's you and I talking, which is great because we can talk about her behind her back. Because the woman, I am telling you what, I have watched her now for a couple of years, and there is nobody more genuine, more authentic, more absolutely for the people. I just can't believe it. She's making major money now. She's spending some money learning how to really tell her story. I know she is real familiar with Pete Vargas and Pat Quinn. One of the reasons I fell in love with them was a result of her testimony toward what they do. So those of you that are thinking about hiring Pete Vargas or Pat Quinn or both of them together, there's three different programs there. Please know that this woman, all that poise wasn't by accident. She picked up a lot from those guys. And I'm just a big proponent of getting better at your craft. And if you make network marketing your craft, you're going to hone it. And Adrian and I are really good at the feelings side of the equation. We live in that side. I came out of Alcoholics Anonymous, so as a result, I learned a lot about rigorous self-inquiry. I learned a lot about peeling that onion called Tom Chenault, so I wasn't so scared of people, and I could get to where I could actually relate to anybody, and it turns out that's exactly what network marketing was all about, and it ended up having me be accidentally a pretty big deal in this space because I just fired my brain and hired my heart. That's what I want all of you to do, and that's what you built your app, contactmapping.com, all about, right?
100% true. And I was just thinking about this as you were sharing about Michelle, and Michelle, we've got her back now. So we were just talking about how good you have gotten at telling your story. And one of the things about Michelle that I have noticed, I have really seen the difference, and I really observed it today, is Michelle's story could be told in a way that has you sobbing if she wanted to go there. Yeah. And what I have noticed that you have learned how to do is to not hold anything back, not hold back any of the facts, but you have inserted humor, you have inserted you tell it differently now in a way that I think is more relatable to people who haven't maybe been where you have been, but can relate to other elements of that story. And I've heard you talking about this on Clubhouse, that you have really learned how to be very conscious about helping people who don't have this crazy dramatic story to realize that they have a story to tell too, even if it's not as crazy as yours. Yeah. So talk about how you've done that.
That's so important to me. It's so important because I have friends. One second, let me move myself here. It's so important because I have friends in the industry in all different companies, obviously. So we talk, and I hear far too often that, they feel like, well, their story's not relevant because it's not like mine or like so-and-so's. And, it's just not true. It's just not true. And I was an A&P, and this is what kind of inspired the whole thing for me to talk about it all the time. Is I was talking to a girl, and we were talking about it. She's like, well, I never really had it rough. We weren't rich, but we weren't poor. And I'm like, you are most people. And I hate to say like middle class or whatever, but I'm like, middle class were gave nothing for free. You didn't get welfare. You didn't get no food stamps. Your parents bust their butts to make sure you have what you had. That's a story. That is relevant. That is real. That's most people.
Yeah.
And so she didn't realize that. She had no idea because it was her inside. It's easier looking from the outside in. Yeah. And so for me, yes. I've got super good at telling my story in a bazillion different ways. I can add the emotion, or I can break. I know that I can break hearts with it. Right. And I don't want to. I want you to be able to. I want you to be inspired to do, not to feel bad for me or clap for me. I don't need a clap. I need you to be inspired enough by me to move. The claps aren't anything for me. It's about the person, And so, yes, if I go there, we'll go. But it's, I have learned a lot from Pat and Pete. Yes, I was catching it as I was frozen, a little piece of what you're saying. And they're geniuses. And Pat especially helped me. I was in a room with people with everyday stories, and I was envious. So it's a two-way street in that the people with the rough stories wish they were normal because more people are normal than like me. And then the people that aren't like me are like, oh, I wish I was like you, So stop comparing yourself. If I have to say it again, I will. You are your gift. You are the gift. You are the gift. Being you is the gift. The world, your people, they need you. I say this all the time. It's probably my staple statement. But your energy is a gift. Nobody else has it. Nobody else is you. And without it, with you trying to alter it or whatever, it really hurts. It hurts the people that you're supposed to be showing up for. And that's what it's about, right? So, that's why I do it for sure.
Meanwhile, my wife is watching the show and crying.
Darn it! I still haven't got to meet Denise. I'm so upset.
Well,
so upset.
She's the greatest. And you are, what you did for us today is unbelievable. The show's going to continue on. So whatever you do, don't hang up. But it is unbelievable having the great Michelle Eldridge here. We'll see you all next week on the Network Marketing Leadership Show. And we're back. I don't want you hanging up. Angel Fletcher, Unbelievable. She's watching. Great woman. Denise is watching.
Christopher O'Hare is the first person with his hand up
Chris
on
O'Hare.
Clubhouse. That's pretty
So
awesome.
Chris O'Hare, Kim Calabresi's on here, and she's a Defy Ventures girl. The only reason I know Chris O'Hare is because that was in his profile, and this kid is the real deal, a dear friend of mine, and came from some tough stuff himself. How are you, Chris O'Hare?
I'm doing outstanding. Life
Well-
is good.
We didn't hear that. So say that one more time, Chris.
Life is I'm outstanding, and life is good.
Now, do you have how did you like Michelle Eldridge?
I got to tell you, it strengthens me. As you said, I've been through some hard times, like I guess most people have. But her strength and her no excuses, and she, is just amazing. It strengthens me. It makes me know I'm doing the right thing, and that I'm going to reach what I want to reach. She's very inspirational, and to use a term that's often said by my friend Tom, Michelle, I love you.
I love you so much.
And anybody, so we're off the air, so it's just unplugged. So all of you on here, anybody else got anything, Adrian, that you want to ask her? Find her. But anybody that's down and out, I don't care what circumstance you're in, you're one decision away from changing that right now. And it can be bad stuff. I mean, Michelle's story is, she said that she could go so deep with that story that you would literally be sobbing. She pulled it back a little bit for you today. And the reason was because it was exactly right for this show. But I am telling you one thing right now. Don't feel like you're the Lone Ranger when you're down and out. And I want to shout out to Angel Fletcher. I don't know if she's still on here. Oh, jeez. Here's a woman who has given more money and more time to the Chicago Cubs, back to this profession, than you'll ever believe in your life. And she and her significant other, Ryan, these people, I have watched them fall in love. I have watched them build giant businesses. I've watched them lose a ton of weight. I watched them get engaged. I watched them.
I was on stage and helped him with that engagement. It was incredible. Her face, she was so shocked and also so beautiful. At the same time, we were all taking pictures, but she was not. I don't think she was expecting it at all.
Then she gets sick. Then her kid gets sick. Her daughter, terribly sick. She gets sick. Never once did she stop helping her team. Sean Murphy would tell me the acts of kindness that would come out of her when she should have been paying attention to everything but helping anybody else. But that's the way she's wired. That's the way you're wired. You did the same thing in 2020 with your illness. You just never once you got a taste of helping people, you realize that's the cure for almost everything. Is that correct or incorrect?
It is. It gives you this, there's such a sense of, I don't know. I think for Angel, she knows what it's like. And for me, she knows what it's like to be below the bottom.
Yeah.
And when you know what that's like, and you know that it's possible to come up from that, it's almost an instinct. Like it's a have to do. Like I want to leave no one that's willing to give up. You know what I mean? If you're willing to hold my hand, I'll walk with you anywhere. I will take you with me as far as you want to go. And it's because I know that it's possible. That's what people like Angel and people like you, that's what I got when I started. That's what I got pushed in my brain. The possibility that even somebody like me could do it. And that's what this industry is about, is the person. Of course the influencer can do it. Good for you for building that network and making it popping, because that is awesome. But not everybody starts that way, and that's okay. That's what we have to remember. Angel goes after, like, her people is the average ordinary human. Same.
Yep.
So it's just one of those things where if it's in you, you have to do it. Sick, sad. My grandma used to say sick, sad, and sober. That's what you have to do. And it's, you just have to do it no matter what.
We own an office building here in Longmont. In a
Oh,
really,
they were
really.
throwing me around. I was like, oh.
But what you don't know is we heard in town that the city was upset about a bunch of homeless people being shipped in from other cities, and they had like a mission to get rid of the homeless. So we put a great big sign out in our parking lot that said free coffee and nutrition for homeless people. And we hang that in the parking lot every day. And we've got 2 homeless people that live in the parking lot 24/7. We deputized them. And what they do is they've got keys to the place. They've got permission to bring anybody in to give them a cup of coffee and let them warm up, and a little food in the refrigerator, or maybe some nutrition. But what's even bigger than that, it's such a gift because it reminds me every day of where I was heading. So everybody thinks we're such nice guys for doing that. No, I just don't want to go. I want to keep going the direction I go, because if I pick up or I do anything, I'm going right back there with those guys. And so I live my life in those misfits that you talked about, because that's my tribe. That's who I am. And the minute I start forgetting that, I'm walking toward my next drink. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I would agree with it. I would agree with it. I just heard you say that. It hits me because I wish I would go to Hardee's every morning. I would walk. And I would just stand there. They wouldn't let me in long. But I would go to the bathroom and I would come out, and I wouldn't give anything if somebody would give me coffee or something. So you say that, you're talking about this good thing that you do and you just go past it, but just know what you're doing for those people is probably way more than you'll ever know. And so hats off to you.
Yeah, well, they're keeping me. You see, I told the Pat Quinn story.
Yeah,
I know. I love you. That's awesome. So the name of the game, you guys, it's never too late. It's never too late. You can find her. All you got to do is go in the comments and click, and you got her. But if you're in trouble, you're not alone. Everybody's in trouble. What's unique about the people?
I literally just did a video about this.
Yeah.
We're so aligned right now. It's insane to me.
But here's the difference that is so important between where you are and where you can be. It's having the guts, the humility to ask for help. Yeah. When your pain gets bigger than your pride, and you'll truly ask for help and take the help and do something about it, not a hand out, but a hand up, you're out of the trap. Whether it's business, whether it's sobriety, whether it's economic, whether it's physical, we can help you. But we need to know you're going to meet us halfway, right, Michelle?
Yeah. I mean, you do anything for somebody who's willing to do for themselves. I can't walk for you.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll walk with you all the way. I mean, I will carry you as long as you're willing to move 1 foot, I'll help you with the other one. That's what it boils down to is the willingness to take it to one. Okay, Ray says, sometimes the lesson is to receive, because it's hard for a lot of people to receive. I've been that person, and it's you want to let your pride do all the talking. Your ego is not your amigo. Trust me. The moment, I'm telling you right now, okay, picture this, okay? I am in this camper room. Tom already told you, but I was in this room, and for a moment, there was one moment, I'm looking down, I'm sitting kind of like I am now, I'm on this bed. It's a little bitty camper room. The door's shut, it's hot. And I'm sitting there and looking down, and I'm like, wait. What if I can live without the needle? What if I can live without it? Like for a split second. For 1 split second. That's what I thought. And so I shut the door, and I stayed back there, and I jerked, and I shook, threw up, and I did all these things all day long. And at the end of the many, many days it took, it was worth it, but I had to take this part out of it. What does the shirt say? Hire your brain and hire your heart. That's what I had to do. I had to let my heart win, and it was hard because that meant I'm not in control anymore. I have to let, for me, it's God. For anybody else, it could be, I don't know. But for me, I had to let God take over because what I was doing wasn't working. And then same with business. I can't think that I know, you know what I mean? Like my way clearly would not work. It didn't work. I tried. And when I found the help, the people who've already done the things I want to do, they're willing to give you help. I'm willing to help anybody.
Yep.
But they're not going to just, if I hadn't had took the action or, you know what I mean? If I hadn't used contact mapping app, I wouldn't, I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't be about it. It wouldn't have changed my life or anybody else's. So it's like, you have to decide that your life and you deserve to create whatever you want. Whatever it is that you want in here, you have to be willing. If you're uncomfortable enough, you'll do it. But there's a lot of people who stay comfortably uncomfortable. And that's the battle. So I hope that you get too uncomfortable. That gift of desperation.
So there's a guy named Steve Kerr.
Okay.
I'm a stockbroker, making all kinds of money, crashed and burned, got 2 DUIs, 2 disturbing the pieces in 1 week. Terrible week. Ended up losing everything. All of a sudden, he called on the phone and said, I want you to come down to a football game. I'll buy all Christmas presents. I'll pay everything. Another guy named Ralph Olson bought me Christmas presents for my kid because he'd heard a guy at the top was now at the bottom and couldn't even buy Christmas presents for his kids. So I want to ask you, before we get out of here, that last story about Christmas, because I've got a personal relationship with no money for Christmas presents with small kids, and it's one of the most horrific things on the planet. I want you to talk about previous Christmas real quick, and then I want you to talk about last Christmas, if you don't mind.
It's tough, because on Facebook or anywhere else, nobody knows. That's why this is a big lesson for you listening. If you have a business, this is a huge lesson for you. A lesson in perception. People are showing you what they want you to see. What they want you to see doesn't mean it's real. That's why you can't skip anybody, because you just have no idea. Okay, so I was as a parent, I don't care who you are. If you're a mom, you're a dad, you're raising a kid of any kind, you want the best for them. You want to give them the best, and when you can't, it sucks. And I would post the pictures of all the presents and the things that I would get if I could get anything. I would get these dollar things from the dollar store and I would put them in the tree so that they looked like there was a bunch. But my husband's boss and his wife would end up buying them the best gifts. So I knew they would get some good. But so I would fill under the tree with these one little dollar things so I could take a picture and put it on Facebook so it looked like my kids had whatever. And what's funny is most of what was under there, aside from the handful of dollar things that I bought and threw under there, was mostly like, angel tree or somebody that just, here's some stuff for the Head Start. The health department dropped some stuff off on the porch and runs off and leave. And that happened for 3 years, three almost, maybe even 4. I don't even know at this point. And, you'd wake up Christmas morning, don't even know what they're getting on half of it because you didn't wrap it. So when they're saying thank you, you can't, you know what I mean? It's a completely different feeling than if it was tough. That's what I know. And there was Christmases when there was, I don't remember Christmas. I don't remember Christmas when I was little. And I wanted so bad to be able to give that to them. And I'll tell you, my first ever Christmas in network marketing, I got to give them the best Christmas that they'd ever had all by myself. No help, no nothing. And that was the best feeling I ever got, to wake up and know that wasn't just a bunch of junk that would break in an hour, and I didn't know what was in any box. I knew what was in all the boxes, and I still had the bills paid. I'd got a car at this point too, and I was paying that, and I was not going to struggle. I still wasn't struggling. And that's when my mind really opened up to the fact that I could take it all the way. Like I could really, truly create a legacy for my kids. Like I could do it. And I'm looking at this tree and I'm watching, my kids open up these presents, and I can't help but think, I did that. I helped enough people and they helped me. Because that's how it was. You can't really get paid here without helping somebody. And so I just was like, well, okay, all I got to do now is go help more people. And so that's what I committed to. I'm going to help as many. And so from there, you ain't never seen, I had to put a halt on myself these last 3 years because I got crazy because I could do it. You go from broke to having to explain to them why you can't buy them a dollar toy to now you can buy them any toy they want. And they got this whole room full of stuff. And you're like, they don't need it. My husband's like, Michelle, they don't need anything else. But in my mind, I'm like, but I can do it. But I can. And so Christmas at our house is it's all I ever dreamed of. It's the fairy tale that I never thought existed, but only in books and magazines and stuff that would never happen to me. That's what they get. And it's the best thing. It's the best thing that's ever, I can't, there's nothing that can describe what it feels like to be a parent and know that you broke just another cycle is broken for me. Just another one, just one more to add to the list. And I think, that's the best one. So.
If that is not a picture of Michelle Eldridge's heart, I don't know what is. Michelle, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. I
love y'all.
I love your story, but I learned so much from you. I have learned so much from you, and I learned new things from you today. And I just want you to know what a gift you are to us and to this profession, and you are the real deal. So thanks for being with us today. We love you.
I love y'all so much. Thank you for having me. There's no bigger honor, and I am just truly, truly grateful for all that you do. If you're watching this and you haven't went to contactmapping.com/free yet, you need to go. Listen, remember what I said, success leaves clues. Please, it's free. Why would you be crazy not to look at it? Thank y'all for having me so much.
Love you. See ya. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Clubhouse crew. We love you guys. See you soon.
All right.
Oh, thanks.
Love
Michelle.
you.
That was awesome.
Michelle, you were unbelievable.
Tom, you got me. Darn it.
Darn it. I know he did.
Oh man, it got me. I'm so glad this light was weird. I don't know what happened exactly, but I'm like, they can't see how wrecked I actually am. Fantastic.
Oh, my wife's sobbing. That's what's so funny.
I've got to meet her. I feel so cheated that I've not got to meet her yet.
She's not that good.
No shit.
Yeah,
we love you so much. You are just a rock
There's
star.
no question. Like my husband, he also is. You know what? Well, I love y'all, and I just hope truly to God, I really do. I just hope to be like y'all. I know you think this is a joke, probably, but the example that you set, I know that you're human, and I know I don't have any. There's nothing in my mind that thinks, oh, you're perfect, right? I'm not an idiot, but what I do know is that you're the best imperfect people that I probably know, and I am so grateful to know you and to get to be around you in any form or fashion, even if it may have been an accident that I'm even here right now, but I really am glad that I am. So,
An accident that you're on the show?
yeah.
That's a bunch of horse shit. Say hi to my wife.
Hi.
Turn a little closer to the right. Other way. Left.
There she is.
Oh my gosh, Michelle, I cannot. believe that we have not chatted, and I feel like I just want to go spend the weekend with you somewhere.
We've got to meet. I feel like I've met everybody but you, and I've been thinking it forever. I'm like, why have I not got to meet her yet?
We will. We will catch up. At some point, we're going to be able to go do events again, and we'll go have dinners.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm gonna hold you to it because I feel like this is one thing that I'm not kidding. I've been waiting to do for a long time, so I'm excited. I know that you have to be a saint. You have to be the glue. You have to be the glue that holds a lot together, because that's kind of what my husband is. I'm all over the place, and he balances me out, and I know that you have to be an angel like that. So I just I can't wait to meet you. I know you've done a lot. I know Taylor Thompson talks highly of you, and I just can't wait to meet you. It's gonna be so good. Let's go.
She's pregnant, right?
What?
No, I'm not pregnant.
That would be so hard.
He's got the moves like Jagger.
We have some big issues.
Oh, you're the greatest, baby. I love you, Denise. I love you, Michelle.
I love y'all. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.